I'm single. And these are the words that are expressed by millions of people globally. I'm single. And in being single, I've come to some realizations that my last marriage ended about 5 years ago, and it lasted for about 19 years. And so for me, there's a new reality. It's not about really what you think anymore. You're never really free in the sense when it comes to the opportunity of having a relationship. It's about how others see you. Because potentially there are 10,000 people, 10,000 personality combinations and likenesses that will allow you to have a relationship with a person that would be exquisite and divine. The 10,000. And the idea is that with all those potentials, you've got to work on yourself to even get the attention of that many people. I mean, just look at the way life works. All right, so you start a YouTube channel. There are 3 people to watch your video. What do you have to do to get millions of people? It's about your presentation. And that's how life is. I mean, if you put up an advertising for anything, how many people are going to appreciate what it is that you're trying to offer? You can't reach everybody. So even in that small number, that small dynamic of 10,000 potential people that can make you exquisitely happy, we generally advertise who we are to the millions that cannot. And that's why we're talking to you today about self-achievement. And I don't mean reaching the goals of making $1 million a year or having $1 million in your bank account. I'm not talking about financial achievement. I'm talking about personal development. Who are you? And what are you presenting to the world that makes you attractive? Because it can't all be about the physical, but it needs to be more about the emotional connection. Because it's through those emotional connections that love grows. Love is like a plant. You can't set it in like a pile of steel and expect it to grow. You've got to put it in the dirt. So the dirt, the soil, that's where the emotional content comes from that allows us to express ourselves in a loving way to a partner. Now, that's a reality because the dynamic is it's about how you are perceived. What do people see when they look at you? See, I'm 55 years old now. When I got married the first time, I was 21. When I was married the second time, I was 34 years old. Now, what's interesting is that there's a huge difference between being 34 and 21. There's a different expectation that people put on you. See, when you're 21, you're just beginning. When you're 34, you should be on your way. And I was on my way. Now I'm 55. There's another expectation that people have. Oh, you should have millions in the bank. You should have retirement pretty much figured out. You should have a big old house or a nice house. You should have several cars. These are the expectations. But none of these expectations are part of your emotional development. So the emotional development is about growing your love and your attachment from yourself to another person that makes it lasting. Because at this age, it's about time that you make it work forever. How many other opportunities or chances? How many 19-year relationships? It was an 11-year relationship, an 11-year marriage. So how can you go from an 11-year marriage to a 19-year marriage? Time's running out. So you got to get it right. You got to be able to make the right decisions and see inside of that emotional development, there comes conversation. The type of conversations that allow you to attach your life to the life of another person. Without conversation, you're single. Even in a relationship with a partner, you're single if you don't have those in-depth conversations that help you grow who you are closer to them and them closer to you. It's just essential. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about who are you right now, not who you used to be. And that's why you see some people that just can't let go of their past when they were like 18 and now they're in their 60s and they're dressing like they're 20 years old. Well, there's a different decorum in dress. And I'm not talking about the dress suits and the dresses and the going out affairs. I'm talking about who do you dress like? I've seen people in my age group dressing like teenagers today. That is personal preference. That is what they're putting out there. And then they wonder why only 3 people watch their YouTube video or 3 people take advantage of their advertisement when so many other people saw it coming and then they just turned their head. They just turned their head away from what you were presenting out there. Because who we are is basically a dynamic all in its own. And that's who you want to get across to other people. You want other people to see you for who you are. Most of us are just strangers, even to our closest friends. They're just things that make us tick that people, our closest friends, our family members, they just don't get about it. They just don't know who we are. And in some cases, that's because we have not defined ourselves as to who we are. Or we have defined ourselves incorrectly by saying, who are you? I'm a plumber. Really? Who are you? I'm a web developer. Who are you? I'm a doctor. Really? You're not a doctor. You're a person. Your name is Tom, Dick, Jane, whatever, and I practice medicine. See, who you are is about the values that you have within inside of you. And that's what's going to make you attractive. When an automobile creator puts up an advertisement for a vehicle, they show you what the vehicle looks like. You see, you've seen it, right? But they already know that's not going to hold your attention. So they need to start telling you the deep stories about its safety features and its convenience features and those things that make it easy for you to drive this car, almost without even paying any attention. See, that's how life is when it comes to dating, looking for a partner. You just can't present yourself because, see, everybody's not going to like the way you look. And you've got to accept the fact that as you've gotten older, you've changed. I don't care if it's a year later. People change. People change from year to year. Some people change from week to week, month to month. And you've got to accept that you are not the same person that you were prior to today. So what are you presenting out there? See, what is your story that people will become interested in? So one very basic philosophy that we've shared on this channel many times is marry your best friend. Marry the person that you can make that deep connection with, because see, that connection is the connection that's going to take you through to the end of your life. That's the connection that matters. That's the connection that's the bonus. That connection right there between you and your spouse, your partner, is the one that's going to make you feel good on the inside when you don't look so great on the outside. You wake up in the morning, your hair's all over the place. But the emotional connection, your partner look at you. Wow, she's so beautiful. Because that's what it's about. It's about the beauty. See, they see the inner beauty of who you are. And we're not talking about those people who are in relationships where there are obvious differences, perhaps in age, or differences in skin tone, or differences in size. A skinny person, a big person. See, we're not talking about that. Those aren't the differences we're talking about, because that's subjective. That could be because of upbringing, or that could be because of culture. What we're talking about when we talk about the connection is how your heart and your feelings connect to the heart and feelings of another person. Do you feel the same or similar, or does the way you feel support how somebody else's feelings may flow? See, this is big deal stuff, because let's say you're watching the news, and on the news, they talk about a storm that's brewing, it's going to happen, and they're saying it's going to be big and devastating. Now, as a single person, you might look at it, well, I'm okay. But with your spouse, it's going to feel different. So you may look at it, wow, that could be pretty bad. And your spouse may say, well, maybe we should prepare for that. See, that's building on each other's emotions. That's building on your feelings. But the opposite of that is you see it and you go, wow, that's going to be pretty bad. And your partner goes, well, they always exaggerate. They talked about the storm that was supposed to come last week and it didn't come last week. See, there's no building on that. That's going in a negative direction. That means the two of you are not heart to heart. See, when we talk about heart to heart, your feelings can be different, but they should be the type of feelings that build moving in the same direction. So you can't talk about, oh, there's a storm coming, it could be terrible, and then one dismisses it. Oh yeah, well, they talked about a storm last week and, basically it didn't happen, so I'm not going to worry about this one. See, that's not building, that's not moving forward in the same direction. When your partner says, maybe we should get prepared based on what you said, oh wow, that's going to be serious. See, now you've got a partner that you're going to have not just for today, but you're going to have this partner in the future. You only get there with your best friend. Your best friend builds. Your best friend, see, friends are different. Friends are not family members. They can be, but they're not necessarily family members. Friends help you to move forward and to look at things in a way that's like partnership. You don't want to be alone in your thinking, and neither does your partner. But you want to be together so you can make something positive come out of this situation. You might be single, but you don't have to be. You just have to pay attention to how are you presenting yourself to the rest of the world. What does the world see when they look at you? See, around you, they may see the shells of other people, their exterior, how glamorous they look, how beautiful do they look. But what really wins over in relationships is the thing that surpasses time. Beautiful, kind heart. So work on your heart. Make your heart more beautiful today. Make your heart more gratifying today. And give someone else something to look at you in a very stronger and deeper way. Help someone to have an emotional connection with you as you find your best friend and find love that should last forever. Listen, we want to thank you for watching our channel today. We hope this message has been enjoyable, and stick around and watch the next video. We have more to say. Remember this: